how some people have like a nervous laugh? They will laugh when they're nervous even if it's completely inappropriate to do so. I feel like I have a disbelief laugh. So I'm in such disbelief getting ready to film this video, trying to sort of practice how I want to open it and what I want to say to you guys in each of the segments, that I'm just like laughing about it and realizing about myself that I have this disbelief laugh. I'm shocked about the things that are going on today. I just had a follow-up appointment with my CSF leak specialist. I'm like 3 or 4 weeks post-op from my targeted patch, and I'm going in for more patching. We have not 1, but 2 more patch procedures on the books now. So, big update. Let's do this. If you are new here, literally couldn't be happier to have you. What's up? My name's Jen. Welcome to Momming with Migraine. But it turns out, surprise, my brain fluid is leaking. 2023, the goal this year medically for me has been to find the source of my leak and patch it. So let me give you a quick rundown of what has happened so far this year so that you can be caught up to speed and the rest of this video will make more sense. October of 2022, so a full year ago now, we just surpassed the 1-year anniversary. I got connected to a doctor after like 6.5 years of me having symptoms, and he looked at one of my old brain MRIs that was read as normal, and he said, that doesn't look so normal. That started this snowball of appointments with this leak specialist where he has been completely, what's the word? Not resilient, relentless. He has been totally relentless chasing after my leak and trying to patch the spots that look suspicious. So January, February of 2023, I got more MRI imaging done. June of 2023, I got a large volume, non-targeted blood patch that gave me a few weeks of relief and then wore off. The fact that I had relief for a few weeks after that non-targeted patch kind of gave us the green light to keep chasing after this diagnosis, because getting relief from that meant I'm probably leaking. So from there, we were like, where are these holes? Last month, September of 2023, I got 2 CT myelograms and then a blood patch to seal the 2 CT myelogram holes. The goal of the CT myelograms was to find potential CSF venous fistulas, which is just a different type of leak. But we found 4 potential spots of interest when we did those myelograms. 2 weeks after my myelograms, still in September of 2023, I got targeted patches at the 4 places of interest that we found on those CT myelograms. After the targeted patch, I mean, you guys saw my 1-week update video. I was great. And I'm still really great. I seriously feel like after these targeted patches, my soul came back into my body. Something went right in these targeted patches. So just like getting good results from the non-targeted patch said, hey, green light, we should probably go for that myelogram and find the source of the leak because you probably really are leaking. This targeted fistula patching going well also gives us a green light to pursue one of those fistulas actually being my true problem. All we're doing at this point, really all I've been doing the entire time I've been with this specialist, all we've been doing is adding layers of certainty. And now that we're up here, I have solidly more than 50%, more than, I would say even more than 80% improvement on some days. We're just trying to milk how much improvement can we get and how much can we narrow it down now that we have this broad of a target. Because odds are, I only have 1 leak site. And I just wanted to confess how abnormally nervous I was for this appointment. You guys seem to love it when I confess these feelings that I have so that you guys know that you're not alone. This is totally normal, okay? So I do have a rapport with this doctor. We've been seeing each other for like a year. I have many procedures under my belt with him, and at this point, I know that he is convinced that I'm leaking. So there isn't nervousness about gaslighting or whether he's going to take me seriously or how I need to word things to make sure that I don't make him think that I'm better than I really am. You know, all those typical things that you worry about with doctors. But I was very nervous for this appointment in a way that I haven't been nervous for another appointment in a while, because I didn't really know what the way forward was going to look like. I feel like in my last few appointments, I had a decent idea of what my options would be. But I felt like with how much better I'm doing after my last targeted patch, I just wasn't quite sure what direction we were gonna go to get this last 10, 20, 30% of improvement that we're chasing after. Like, if you do myelograms to try to find potential fistulas and then you mostly fix it, do you go in for more myelograms? Do you do more MRIs to see if the brain sagging has actually gotten better? Something objective instead of just dealing with my subjective, like this is how I'm doing? Are my flat time numbers and things like that objective enough to be considered objective? When I say that now I'm able to be upright 5-6 hours instead of 5-6 minutes, is that objective? I don't know, guys. But coming out of this one, especially with CSF venous fistulas being such a new thing, I just didn't quite know exactly where we were gonna go. But I'm stoked with the direction that we decided on, because I feel like it's a very reasonable one, and it's one that I had considered in my brain before I talked to my surgeon that I thought might be a good direction. And I'm excited that our logic brains matched up on this next step. That's kind of the ideal scenario. For me to think, this might be a good way forward. I wonder what he would think of that. But I held my tongue, waited for him to say what he suggested, and then he suggested one of the two things that I thought he might. So it's a good position to be in, but not gonna lie, I was literally sweating before this appointment. I was nervous. I ended up going on a walk with Buddy and Brian for like 30 or 40 minutes before the appointment. I was just walking out those jitters. Also getting some time with Brian because today is our engagement anniversary. Brian proposed to me 8 years ago today, October 18th, 2015. So, happy engagement anniversary to us. I'm getting back on the surgery table. But this is great. This is really, really great news. I was definitely a little bit worried though that with this much improvement, it might be a wait and see with more imaging kind of thing. So, even though I am a little bit dreading going back in for more procedures already when I'm already very worn out on it, I'm also looking forward to I might get even more improvement than this. Is that even legal? Not in the 48 continental United States. One of the burning questions that I had going into this appointment with my doctor was, what are the odds that I'm leaking at more than one place? We're targeting 4 different sites. What are the odds that it's 2 of them? What are the odds that I have a fistula, but I also have a small tear somewhere else? And he said odds are very, very good that I've just got 1 leak site that is causing all of my problems. For most patients, that is the case. So for now, we should assume that I am with most patients, although obviously we cannot guarantee it. Statistics-wise, and I love that he's always going with the data and the stats, and that's how we're making these decisions. Most CSF venous fistulas are on the right side. My most likely sources for my leak seem to be my right side. My potential fistulas were broken up into 2 on the right side and 2 on the left side. My right side ones look more suspicious and more patients have theirs on the right side. So we're gonna target those 2 on my first patch, this next patch. So we're gonna start by targeting those 2 on my next patch and see if I get marked improvement like I did on my last patch. If I get really good improvement from a targeted patch on just those 2 on the right side, then from there, moving forward, forevermore potentially, we can maybe assume that it is actually one of those 2 that is causing all of my problems, and we can ignore the ones on the left. Does that make sense? And like I teased in the beginning of the video, I have another patch a few weeks after that. So, what's the plan for that patch? Is it left side? Or is it narrow it down to 1? You ready? Surprise! Maybe not a surprise to you. We don't know yet. We don't know exactly what we're going to be patching on that next patch, which will be my 5th total patch. That patch is going to be based on how I do on my next patch, the 4th one. So that is currently where we are at. And there was actually one more layer of decision making that I left out at the beginning of the video, just for the sake of not overcomplicating things. But now that you're caught up, I think you can handle hearing it. I had another decision to make about the first set of patching that we're about to do right now. So recall that my most recent patch was 4 spots, and I had crazy good improvement. So one option for my next patch would be to go for all 4 spots again. If we patch all 4 spots again, the point would just be to get really big improvement again. And best case scenario, I would just be cured from that. I would be fine. But if I wasn't fine from that, then potentially, eventually, we would want to go down this narrowing down the fistula path. Just like I thought that eventually I would want to get the CT myelogram, and that's why I went ahead and did it as my second procedure. I don't want to rush into procedures before I need to, but I also don't want to drag it out longer than I have to. So even though my surgeon is far away and I have to travel to see him, and it is a lot with the babies and everything, I think that dividing up this first procedure into right side and left side, or right side and only half of right side potentially on that second patch, is a better longer term plan than if we were just gonna decide to target all 4 of those spots again. It's so tempting to me to be like, while I'm there, I'm on the table, we've done all the things, can't you just patch them all? But we would lose information if we did that. So that's why we have decided to split them up by a few weeks. And we're hoping that I will be able to tell in those few weeks whether or not I think we've actually hit the spot. Now, last but not least, well, actually, 2 more things. 1, hit like, subscribe, thank you. 2, I really appreciate all of you guys cheering me on. Like, your support seriously has meant so much, because it has taken a lot of strength for me to keep traveling, especially away from my family, away from my husband. And it's been a little bit heavy going through these procedures. It's been kind of weird getting taken seriously at the hospital. That's a whole processing thing I'm going through. And as I'm waking up from being so disabled, I'm also going through some grieving process and a lot of other things that I've talked about in previous videos. But circling it back, all to say, I really appreciate that you guys are sending me strength virtually, sending me well wishes, because it's seriously making such a big difference for me. I would feel so alone if I didn't have you guys. I don't think I would have the strength to be doing all of this with such grace and poise if I didn't have you guys, ironically. Having you guys makes it so that I can be here for you guys. So just wanted to continue to encourage that and let you know that you are making a difference, even though I can't get to all of your comments. And that's that. That's my update. Hope it helps you in your journey, whatever that journey looks like. And isn't this just such an odd medical problem to have? Like, isn't this just weird? A brain fluid leak. Of all things. It's just weird. Have a good one. Take care of yourself.